What's going on, everybody? Hope you all had a good Christmas or Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. So, I got my end of the year video doing top 5 albums of the year. I'm only going to be doing the albums that I reviewed here on my channel. And of course, it's all my opinion, just my thoughts. So, don't hop on me if I don't have like one of your favorite albums that I reviewed in my top 5. So, here we go. Number 5, Maximalism by Amaranth. Now, this album, it was very. The main reason I chose this one was because it was very balanced. You have three singers. You have your clean female vocalist, clean male vocalist, and a harsh male vocalist. And they really did a great job balancing all these different voices and just all these different instrumental parts, like the solos, the drums, the bass, and of course all the different vocals, how they had some songs that didn't have this vocal in it and focus on just the dynamic between two different voices, and then when they brought all three of the voices together, the song lengths were appropriate. The album artwork was amazing. It was just great to look at. It was like a bigger version of Massive Addictive, pretty much. And it was just really well balanced, and it was mixed really well and just sounded great. It was very surprising that they were able to pull it off to such a great degree that they did. And it was just very enjoyable to listen to, very enjoyable to look at. The music videos they released were pretty awesome, and it was just a surprise that they were able to keep that momentum that they had going through, the debut record, and then through the Nexus, and then Massive Addictive, and now Maximalism. They really kept that momentum going, and they really blended those two, or really three genres together that they always blend, and it was just really, really nice to listen to. I enjoyed it. So, that's my number 5. Number 4 would be The Holographic Principle by Epica. And just the scope of this album, because when you look at the title and then you do the interview and see the studio footage about the subject of the album, it was just a really huge project to take on. It was just a really daring thing to do, not only to make a concept album, but a concept album about such a, I don't really want to say technical, but such an immersive theory, or such a far stretching, all-encompassing theory. It was just like a really, really, really huge thing to take on, and it was a very, very ballsy project, and they really took it and did a great job with it. The scope of the songs, from the choirs to the guitars, the keyboards, and everything that just went into it, it just worked really well, and it made you, question reality and question, just everything around you, because it was just so convincing and so well done, and it just took you to this whole other, universe, and it made you think, what if this all is a hologram, and what if nothing here is real? They just did an excellent job, both lyrically and just composition wise, vocally, and everything else was just so well done and very, very polished. The guitars were very, very nice and prominent, but they didn't take over anything else. The choir was very, very well used, along with Simone's voice, and the drums, the bass, the keyboards, they were all just so well put into this puzzle, and everything just fit really well together, and it was quite a fantastic ride. Like I said in my review of it, I wasn't a fan of Epica until I heard this album. It was just amazing. It was fantastic, and they did a great job. So, number 4 album right there. For number 3, it's Ty. So, like I said many times, I love power metal, and of course I reviewed Built to Last and Master of Light, but it's a tie between Vanquish the Demon and Heroes of Mighty Magic, and from Heroes of Mighty Magic, this is why, and this also kind of goes to Vanquish the Demon as well. So, I love power metal, and this has been a pretty good year for power metal, not just for returning bands, like Freedom Call or Hammerfall, but there's newer power metal coming out, because Heroes of Mighty Magic, that was Twilight Force's second album, and their first album was just amazing. You know, as soon as I heard Gates of Glory, turned me right on to them. And then they come out with Heroes of Mighty Magic, which is in every way just bigger, better, more power metal. You know, it was just amazing. And mainly the way it was mixed, because, you know, when you read the liner notes, it said it's mixed for maximum fidelity, not maximum loudness, and you can really tell they paid incredibly detailed attention to that, especially in, I think it was Prologue, where Blackwald is speaking to the listener, and, you know, I was listening to my really big quality headphones, and I could hear everything, and I could hear him move from one side of the room to the other, and it just captures you. The whole album captured you, just with all the crazy pictures they painted, you know, Battle of Arcane Might and There and Back Again, all of this fantastical land that they painted for you throughout these songs. And then the prologue is just, you know, it plays with your senses, and it was really well mixed and mastered in that regard. And it was just, Twilight Force just upped themselves with Heroes of Mighty Magic, and I loved it. It was, you know, the classic dragons, knights, wizards, mages, lightning, fire. It was classic power metal, you know, and it was amazing. You know, I loved listening to that album. It just captivated me, you know. It was fantastical. It was just amazing. It was the, you know, the classic power metal brought back. And, you know, I love it. And they really went in depth with it. The liner notes had their, like, character drawing, they had stats, and their lore's there, and it was just amazing. And even if you watch interviews of them, you know, Blackwald is talking in that old voice he talks in, he's using, you know, like, old style language, and it's just really amazing, you know. They just really put their all into, like, not just the music, but their costumes and their characters and their history and just everything, you know. It was an amazing album. It was great. It was really nice to see classic power metal come back, and it was a very welcome breath of fresh air. And on that same note, you had Cry Venom come out with Vanquish the Demon. Now, I didn't know if this album was going to come out this year or next, because they were saying it was delayed and started to be gone off a mix or whatever, and so that's why in my review I said it was probably one of the best albums of 2017. But it came out, and it was just a huge surprise, because, you know, you had Freedom Call, you had Hammerfall, you know, you have, like, all these other, you know, power metal bands out there, and you had Twilight Force. And then you had Cry Venom come along, and they call themselves Neo Power Metal. Now, I wasn't sure exactly what that meant, you know, from the two singles they released, Wolfsbane and By My Side. I thought it was just going to be power metal with some, you know, harsh vocals, you know, something like that. But when I bought this album and I put on my headphones and I listened to it, they melded power metal, you know, kind of deathcore kind of vocals, and techno, and it was surprising, because I've never, you know, like, I like Amaranth and everything, but this was like on a whole nother level, because they somehow were able to mix, you know, power metal guitars and keyboards and drums with techno sounds and power metal vocals, but with, like, harsh vocals, and even sometimes they had, like, a little poppy vocal line. I forgot the one song, like, I even heard that. I was like, wow, they just kind of went, you know, pop with the vocal line right there. It was amazing. And I was surprised, you know, because Wolfsbane, you know, it got that power metal feel with the keyboards and the guitars and the vocals, and even had some core vocals in there. I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. This is like power core metal, or whatever, you know, you want to call it. And then By My Side came out, which was more, I want to say, you know, genty or tech deathy, with all dun 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 dun. So they took, power metal, mixed it with pop, mixed it with, like deathcore, death metal-y vocals, and then with, kind of gent breakdowny sections. I mean, that's four different genres that they took and mixed together extremely, extremely well, which that's more than even Amaranth does. They just took four different genres and they put them together extremely well, and they didn't just put it in predictable places. Like when that vocal line I was talking about earlier came in, I was not expecting it to do that. I thought it was just going to be one of those, like high, kind of sustained kind of, notes, but they took it and they kind of like made a little popping, and it gave a little techno vibe, and I was like, wow. And just, the first track, the prelude or whatever, it was, super, super poppy, not super, super, too metally or anything. And then they also did that throughout the album, and for the last track, which was also another great thing. It was like a book that they closed, because the opening track, and I said this in my review, of course, it was like opening paragraph, body paragraphs, and closing paragraph, and they finished the story just so well. And they took four different genres and just molded them into this crazy, intense, angry, somber, happy. They just took you on this ride, like emotionally, because you just felt all these different things, from the way they delivered the guitar solos, the bass lines, the keyboards, the drums, the vocal lines. They just took you on this amazing, like rocket ship, and just blasted off to go wherever they wanted to take you, and when you wanted that, you were like in there for the ride. And it was just really an amazing ability of those guys to write songs like that and combine everything so well. It was like they made a really good cake. It was just amazing. I was surprised at how good it was, and I was excited for it, of course, but I was not expecting what I heard, but I loved what I heard. So, tie between those two albums, you got classic power metal coming back, new breath of fresh air. Then you have, power metal coming in with more influences. I love power metal, but I couldn't really choose between the two, because I decided to split them because one was classic power metal coming back, and another was power metal, but a different kind of power metal, and it was still amazing, So, Vanquish the Demon and Heroes of Mighty Magic are tied for third place there. And the number 2 album would be The Madness of Mini. Now, this album was it's the most technically proficient thing I've heard all year. And not just from my reviews I've done, just from everything. These guys are just amazing, amazing musicians, and they're really true masters of their instruments and of just sound. You can really tell that they sat down and like, okay, we're going to get the best out of ourselves, and we're going to do this together as a unit. We're going to sit here and we're going to pull the best things out of us that we possibly can from ourselves and from each other. And you can just really tell it was a group effort. You can just tell that everything was just so meticulously planned and written out and precise. Every single thump, every single pick, every single drum hit was just amazing, on par, precise, clear, and crisp, and where it was supposed to be. This album just really, really just kind of racked your brain and just made you... It was like, how when you take a test, they say you should have a mint because it activates your brain and you can remember more and everything like that. This album was like if you were taking a test and you had, 20,000 mints a second before you took the test. When they released the Brain Dance and Rhythmophobia and Inner Assassins, you can just really, really tell that this was going to be something great, because all those songs were great. The Brain Dance did just that. It made your brain dance. The the Spanish guitar, and then having everything else come in under that was amazing. And then Arrhythmophobia was just, you know, the kind of the paranoia song, and then Inner Assassins was just like the space in between the two. And you just knew from those three songs, even from just the first song they released, that it was going to be a really good, really well put together album like nothing they've done before. And it was just that. It was devastatingly precise. And the songwriting and just the instrument playing was just amazing. And I went and saw them on the Madness of Mini tour a couple of weeks ago, back in December. It was a couple of weeks ago this month, and it was just amazing. It was a sight to behold to see them. It was, because when you hear it, it's just so amazing. You think it's so impossible. This is crazy. No one can play this. And then you go see them, and they destroy your expectations. You know, they opened with Arrhythmophobia when I went and saw them, and it was amazing. And then of course they played Ectogenesis and a bunch of songs off that record, but it was amazing. The entire album, it was just unbelievable to hear and to see played live. And even got to meet Tosin Abasi at that concert, and he was a super cool guy. And it was just, the album was just definitely their best work so far. You know, it was just, they went from like 3 to like 500. They really outdid themselves with this album, and you can tell that they put their heart and soul and like their knowledge and their attention to it in excruciating detail, and it was amazing. So that's my number 2 album, and so number 1 album is Brotherhood of the Snake by Testament. This album, because, you know, all the bands that I've mentioned other than Cry Venom and Twilight Force have been around for, you know, a little bit. But Testament, and I'm going to say this, released the best thrash album of the year. Like I said before in my review, I was not even going to originally review this album, but I saw the lyric video for Brotherhood of the Snake, and I couldn't not review it. That song, as soon as it started, it's like, I was like, okay, this is pretty good. And as soon as it was over, I was like, wow, I have to review this album. And when this album came out, I had trouble getting the full album, of course, because on iTunes only had the missing 3 tracks, and on Spotify it stopped after a certain amount of time, so it was like hard getting this whole album, but I managed to review most of it. And I really can't say anything else other than this is essential thrash metal. You know, when I heard Dark Roots of Earth, you know, like True American Hate and Native Blood, I thought that was an amazing album. I wasn't, you know, like, oh, blah, 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 like I am with Brotherhood of the Snake, but I was like, okay, this is pretty good. Testament still has it. And then I went and saw them live at Rockville, and even though it was a shorter set, it was amazing. They destroyed it. And then this album came out, and I really could not believe how great it was. You know, they don't slow down. Like, they didn't mellow out or anything. They're still going so hard and so fast with all these crazy solos, and the drum parts are amazing, the bass is amazing, and of course the vocals are always great, and just the topics that they covered. Because I actually, you know, looked up, you know, stuff. After I watched the lyric video, I looked up, okay, what is the Brotherhood of the Snake, you know, and all that stuff. So, and they did their research on it, you know, and of course songs like Seven Seals, you know, I'm a Christian, so I already know about that stuff, so that was really cool to hear. The Pale King, and of course, you know, just like awesome songs like Can of Business, which was amazing. They just really just put this record out and was like, yeah, this is it. This is us right here. This is what we're going to do. You know, it was just amazing, you know. They really just Because, you know, I've heard Hardwire, heard Dystopia, heard For All Kings, heard Repentless. And, you know, up until I heard, you know, Brotherhood of the Snake, I thought, well, you know, Megadeth put out the best thrash record of the big four, you know, and the best thrash record so far, you know. Repentless isn't bad, but, you know, it's not up there with me. And For All Kings is amazing, better than Worship Music, which I was surprised at, because Worship Music was the bomb. And then Hardwired came out after Dystopia, but I was like, yeah, man, dude, Megadeth's got this. This is the best thrash release, you know. This is probably the best thrash release till, you know, the next albums come out ever. And then I heard Brotherhood of the Snake. I'm just like, dude, wow, how can Testament still be this awesome? You know, like, I'm not saying I expect it to be bad or anything, but they are just on their A game. They're on top of everything. You know, it was crazy. Because it was just intense and devastating and just thrash, man. It was just thrash. Like, you listen to that album, because my guitarist, he is a huge Metallica fan, and even he said, you know, this was, like, amazing, you know, and he's, like, a huge Metallica fan, loves Hardwired and everything, but even he said this was amazing, and, dude, it's just, I can't really even describe. It's just thrash. It's just pure 80s thrash metal, dude. It was just devastating. I couldn't believe what I was hearing, you know. Like, as soon as I put on that first song and then listen to the rest of them, I was like, wow, this is amazing. It almost sounds like they're in their prime. You know, you got Alex there, and you just, man, Chuck, Billy, and just everyone there, they just sound like they're in their 20s. It was just amazing to hear that, and they just did an amazing job lyrically, and it was mixed so well. The drums sounded amazing, especially the snare and the kick. They sounded great. The bass just made me want to quit bass forever because it was amazing. It sounded great, and just the thing, oh man, it was amazing. And then, you know, the guitars are always going to be awesome on a Testament album. You know this for a fact. And as long as Chuck Billy's singing on it, the vocals are going to be amazing. But it was just crazy to hear because it sounded like they were in their prime. It was just amazing to listen to and just take in. It was shocking how good that album was, you know, like, you know, and I'm not like a hater on Testament or anything. Like, I love their music, but it was just, you know, it was the best thrash record out of the new cycle, dude. It was better than Hardwired. It was better than Dystopia. It was better than For All Kings. It was better than Repentless. You know, it was just amazing. You know, it's probably gonna be better than, you know, like, I'm not ragging on them or anything, but, you know, Creator's coming out with a new album next year, and I don't even know if it's gonna top this, because this was just pure essential thrash. These guys sounded like they were, like, in their 20s, and they sounded like completely 100% rejuvenated. It was amazing to listen to, and I just really couldn't believe what I was hearing. I'm like, these guys have been around since the 80s, and you compare with all the other albums from bands that came out, you know, Slayer, Anthrax, and Megadeth, and Metallica, you know, you can tell that there's age there, you know, you can hear it, you know, not saying they sound old and tired or anything, but you can definitely tell that they're, you know, up there in their years. But this, it just sounded amazing. It sounded like everyone in the band was in their 20s, and they just sounded like they were in their prime, and that they were, it was like they were like, okay, we're in our prime, we're gonna release our Rest in Peace, or our Master of Puppets, or our Among the Living, or our God Hates Us All, or whatever. It was just amazing to listen to. These guys outdid themselves to the nth degree. I was like, I even can't believe it right now, but oh my goodness, wow. But yeah, Brotherhood of Snake, definitely the best album of the year, in my opinion. Best thrash album out of the new album cycle. Maybe Creator can top it, we'll see. But it was amazing. These guys sounded like they were my age, and they were just like ripping and roaring and tearing it up. Wow. But yeah, that's my top 5 album of the year. Hey guys, real quick, I just want to thank you all for your support, all the likes and the comments and the subscriptions so far. It's really been really awesome. Originally, I was just gonna, discard my channel and delete everything because the only purpose of it was to put videos from my phone onto somewhere where I could look at them later because they were taking up a bunch of space on my phone. It was originally just like a dump for me to just put stuff so I could watch myself and whatever. And I hadn't uploaded a video in a long time, so I was just like, well, I'm not doing anything with this channel, might as well delete it. But my brother Digital Gator got serious about his YouTube channel and started doing video editing and building a really good following on YouTube. So kind of inspired me to do something with my channel. But I was kind of like stuck with what to do. I didn't have my own recording equipment, so I couldn't do bass covers or vocal covers. I couldn't do like a cooking thing. I didn't have the set or the money for that. And so I was like, what do I do? What am I good at? What can I put on YouTube that people might be interested in? And I was like, well, I listen to a lot of music, and I talk with other people about it, but I've never really done a review type thing. So I was like, well, I listen to a lot of metal, and I like metal, and I have a lot of thoughts on it that I don't often get to say. So why don't I just review music? And the very first one I did was a couple of years ago, back when these were a lot shorter. I did that Endless Slaughter by Limp Bizkit review. I remember I stayed up till midnight just for the release of that. Downloaded it, heard it, and then had my review up the next day. And for a while, that was my most viewed video. I think it's got like 501 views now. But that was the very first one I did. And after that, I just kind of stopped because, man. And then, I was like, well, why don't I just start doing that again? And then, Metallica released a music video for Hardwired to Self-Destruct. And I was like, okay, review that. So, got my phone out, propped it up against, a big candle that was on my kitchen counter, and was like, reviewed it, uploaded it, and, that started that. And ever since then, I think I started off with, 11 or 12 subscribers, and now I have 34. You guys have left me comments, you've liked the video, you dislike the video, which is still cool because I get feedback. Some of you subscribe to me, and it's just been really, really awesome. Like, you guys supporting me, because I love hearing your thoughts on the music as well as your thoughts on my thoughts. Hearing feedback from you guys and hearing your all's opinions. And you guys have been very respectful with your comments. I think I've only gotten one troll, which is really, really, really cool, but everyone else's comment has been respectful. Sometimes they concurred with my opinion, sometimes they didn't, and that was okay. Like, I replied to them, and you guys have been really, really cool to me, and you've been really nice people. Everyone who's watched, and I've gotten so many views and so many like different subscribers, and I keep getting more, and you guys have just been really, really awesome to me, and I really want to thank you guys for watching, just staying with me, because sometimes I might get a little boring, or I say like too much, or stuff like that. So I just want to thank you guys for sticking around, all the likes, all the subscriptions you gave me. I really, really enjoy doing this. It's nice to have, my opinions and thoughts, out there in full, rather than just having a conversation with someone for like 5 or 10 minutes and still having to say all these things, but, the conversation's over, talking about something different, or they're gone now. So it's really, really nice just to, sit here, make a little bit of notes, listen to some awesome music, give my thoughts to some awesome people, and just, see, the feedback roll in, whether it's just some views or comments or likes or anything like that. I just want to thank you guys for all that. I'm not going to stop this anytime soon. I'm definitely going to keep doing this. Hopefully, later next year I'll be able to do some vocal covers and bass covers for you guys, and might start doing, movie reviews, a little bit of those, and just, I'm going to keep it going, as long as I can, I really enjoy doing this, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. I really, really love doing this, and I'm not going to stop anytime soon, So, I hope you guys have a really, really great, really, really safe new year. I'll be reviewing Theater Dimensions by Xandria in January, and whatever else comes, I'm going to review it. Thank you all so much for watching. Of course, you can like, subscribe, and comment. And thank you all so much. Have an awesome, safe new year. And I can't wait till 2017 so I can keep bringing you guys the metal. Thank you all for watching, and rock on.